Thank you. Is everybody glad the ice storm is over? Yeah, I had no water for 1 week, and I worked for the water department. So that was especially painful. I was not only drinking Topo Chico, but also washing my hands with it. You know, Topo Chico, right? Usually when you go to Mexico, they say don't drink the water there, it's not safe. But here we import the Mexican water and drink it in expensive bottles called Topo Chico. So during the ice storm, I got hungry and I want to eat something, so I went to a taco place. I was standing in line, and the guy next to me started talking to me, and he casually asked me, hey, where do you work? And I almost said Austin Water, but I was afraid he might hit me. So I said, I work for Facebook. So I got away with that. So I'm glad we're back to normal. I mean, not full normal, it's just COVID normal. You know, there's something called COVID normal, which is the pre-ice storm, but after COVID normal. My boss called me, you know, I've been working from home. A lot of you are working from home, right? Everybody working from home. So my boss called me the other day to check on me, and he told me that I'm a non-essential worker. And I didn't know if I should be happy or be sad about it. He told me I was non-essential, so I guess it is what it is. And he asked me how I was doing. I said, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm keeping my spirits up. I'm staying positive. And he said, oh, you're positive? Let me call HR. And he was trying to call HR and tell them that I was positive. And I was like, no. Not COVID positive. I'm just staying positive, you know. So, and the masks, we're getting used to wearing the masks now. We've been wearing them for a year now. And, my friend's son was getting married, so he was looking for some prospective brides for him. So he went to India with his family, with his mom and dad, and they went to see the girl, and the girl was wearing a mask. And the boy asked her, hey, can you please take off your mask? And said, no, I'll only take it off after the wedding. So the masks have become a really part of our culture now. In the old days, when you went to the bank with a mask on, they called the cops. Now if you go to the bank without a mask, they call the cops. So either way you're in trouble. And the governments have been providing all kinds of financial support for fighting the coronavirus, right? I heard in Tamil Nadu, the government has a special funding for fighting corona. It's called Corona Nidhi. So I'm glad we're getting vaccines finally, right? It's good to have, some of you have had the vaccine already. That's good. So, when you take the medication, usually it has all kinds of side effects, right? So usually the medications have bad side effects, like, somebody took the vaccine and they said they had fever and vomiting and headaches and all kinds of problems, all kinds of bad side effects. You never have a vaccine with a good side effect. That would be nice, right? To have a vaccine with some good side effects. Like, then you can tell your friends, hey, I took the vaccine and I'm having weight loss. I'm experiencing improved memory, enhanced mental focus. That would be good to have a vaccine like that, right? With positive side effects. So I took the vaccine myself and both the shots, and I'm excited because now I can maybe travel, hopefully, and maybe go to Mexico or something like that, go to Cancun. So I'm hoping I can upgrade my flight and sit in first class and be next to Ted Cruz. That'll work out well. So our new vice president is Kamala Harris, right? So I heard that Kamala Harris, when she was asked to be the vice presidential nominee, she asked Joe Biden how old he was. And Joe Biden apparently told her his age. And later his friend asked Joe Biden, hey Joe, did you tell her your real age or did you lie about your age? Did you tell her you're only 60? Then Joe Biden said, no, I told her I was 90. So that's how she accepted the nomination. So a lot of you are probably watching on online, right? When we have all these Zoom meetings nowadays, everybody's on Zoom, doing work calls and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes when somebody says something funny on your Zoom call, and you laugh, right? You say, "That's funny," but then you realize you're on mute. You just wasted a good laugh. Then you got to unmute yourself, and you try to laugh again, but this time it's a fake laugh, right? Ha, ha, ha. It's not natural, you know. So make sure that you unmute before you laugh. It's some advice from Zoom experience. And sometimes when you're on the Zoom call, some people talk a lot, right? They don't give up the microphone, they talk too much, and they go on and on. And you can't tell them to just be quiet. You can't tell them to just stop talking. That's rude. So what you tell them is, hey, you're not on mute. Then if you tell somebody you're not on mute, that's a sign that they're talking too much. That's kind of an indirect way of saying that they're talking too much. So I was at home the other day, and when my son was young, and somebody knocked on my door. Mr. V.B. Reddy knocked on my door, and my son opened the door, and he said, "Hey, Dad, there's some guy for you." And I said, No, it's not some guy, it's Uncle. You should say Uncle. And my son said, "Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so I'll say Uncle next time." And a few weeks later, the UPS delivery guy knocked on my door. He was a white gentleman named Tom, and my son opened the door and said, "Dad, Uncle is here for you." And the UPS guy was getting confused. "Hey, I'm not your uncle." Then I had to explain to my son, "Hey, no. Only my Indian friends are uncles." So after some time, we went to India to see family, and one time I was inside the house, and my son came running to me and said, "Dad, this uncle is here for you." I quickly ran out and said, "Who's here for me?" And there's a homeless guy looking for some money. And I told my son, no, that's not Uncle. And my son is totally confused. He doesn't know who is Uncle, who is not Uncle, who is friends, who is family. It's confusing for kids, right? I got a new headset. It's in my car right now, but I got a new headset. It's really nice. I can listen to music with it. I talk to friends on it. And the other day I got a call from Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao Aradhyula called me. And he was talking about something. He was going on and on and on, and I couldn't hear what he was saying. Then I realized it's because my headset has noise cancellation. I think I need reading glasses because I'm having trouble seeing nowadays. The other day I saw a sign for free chai tea. It said free chai tea, and I got excited. I went inside and said, "Hey, where's my free chai tea?" And the guy said, No, it's Tai Chi. It's confusing. Then I looked closely, and it said Tai Chi, so I was like, oh man, I need glasses. I was watching the news, and they said the police caught some international gangster and drug trafficker. They put him in a high security prison. So I was wondering, what do they have to say high security prison? Can there also be a low security prison? And why would you have a low security prison for? Oh, you guys, you can run away if you want to. We're not too worried about you. If you want, you can take off. It's low security. Then I realized maybe low security has a purpose too. If somebody, for example, they told you they'll pick you up at the airport, but they don't show up in the last minute, you put them in low security prison. Or somebody borrows something from you when it's expensive, but they give it back to you when it's cheap, put them in a low security prison. Or if you have people who took the vaccine, but they don't tell their neighbors how to get the vaccine, you put them in a low security prison. So my son, when he was younger, he always used to think, when I say something to him, he used to think it's a joke. And he would wait for the punchline. I was like, no, there's no punchline. I'm telling you something. So sometimes I would tell him, okay, go take a shower. And he's like, I don't get it. No, I'm not telling you a joke. I'm telling you to go take a shower. No, Dad, I don't get this joke. So later, he's grown up now, and the other day he called me and said, hey, Dad, how are you? And I said, yeah, I'm doing good. And he said, no, you don't do good, you do well. He was trying to tell me, and he told me that Superman does good. Something good for the universe. So people like you and me, we just do well. And my son is studying psychology. He's studying psychology, and I wanted to get back at him. So I asked him, hey, son, what happens if you spell psychology backwards? And he didn't know the answer. And then I told him, you get reverse psychology. That's how I get back at him. And when he wants to ask me for some money, he never tells me, hey, Dad, I need $10 or $20. He never tells me that. He says, Dad, I want to borrow $20. He always uses the word borrow, but he never gives it back. So I was like, maybe I don't know the meaning of the word borrow myself. So I looked in the dictionary, and it said, that's when you take something from somebody with the expectation of giving it back. So my expectation was right. But he would always borrow money and never give it back. The other day he said, no, he turned 21. He's 21, and he said, hey, Dad, let me buy you a drink. So we went to a happy hour place, and he showed me the menu, and I said, yeah, let me get this drink. And then he said, oh, Dad, can I borrow $20? So it's not working out for me. So a lot of us Indian people have interesting names, right? We have names that have a good meaning. People ask, American people always ask us, hey, what does your name mean? And you have to explain to them what your name means and so on. So my friend named his daughter Meenakshi. That's a beautiful name, and he had a party on her first birthday. A lot of friends came over, and his American friends came over too. And his American friend asked him, hey, what does Meenakshi mean? And my friend told him, yeah, that means she has eyes like a fish. And my friend was like, oh, fish eyes. What kind of fish? Is it like a kingfish, swordfish? Is it like a shark fish or killer whale? What kind of fish? And my friend was like, no. It's a friendly fish. It's a friendly fish, maybe like a catfish or salmon. And my friend then said, oh, no, okay, I got it. When I have my son, I'll name him Red Snapper. So he didn't get the exact way of naming. When you go to India, when you go shopping in India, the street vendors, they're smart, right? They name the price according to what they think, how rich you are, right? They name the price according to the face value. That's what I call face value. They look at the face and they name the value. Face value. So I wanted to buy some custard apples, some sitafal. So I asked my friend, hey, where can I get some sitafal? And my friend said, yeah, he told me where to get them. And then he said, hey, be careful. Sometimes they might think you are a rich guy. They might charge you a high price if you go in your car. Just take my bicycle. And I had a better idea. So instead of taking the bicycle, I took the car, but I parked it 2 blocks away. And I decided to walk to the custard apple street vendor. So I took off my shoes, I put my shoes in the car, and I walked barefoot to him. And I selected the custard apples, and then I was choosing my custard apples, and then the guy said, hey, where did you park your car, sir? And I was like, how did you know? He said, I see the keys in your hand. So I was not smart enough for this. So I had my keys, and then the custard apple price went up. I heard, I was watching the news, and they said the Goldman Sachs CEO had to take like a $10 million pay cut. That's a major pay cut, right? I mean, now his salary is only $17 million. How can you live on that? How can you pay your son's tuition and textbooks and HEB, mortgage payments, gym fees? How do you survive on $17 million salary? It's a tough life. So I'm starting a GoFundMe for him. So I need your support. I need your support to fund the GoFundMe. A lot of people moving to Austin, right? Do people call you and say, hey, I need to buy a place in Austin. Can you help me buy a place in Austin? Is that happening a lot? Everybody wants to move to Austin. My friend called me and said, hey, can you help me get a job in Austin? I said, yes, indeed. Even the homeless people are moving to Austin. The homeless people now, they have their own association. It's the HOA, Homeless Owners Association. And some of them are moving to the suburbs now. They want to expand all over the city. I heard Elon Musk moved to Austin recently. Have you heard this? Elon Musk has moved to Austin. Does anybody own a Tesla here? Anybody own a Tesla? Is it on the raffle? Is the Tesla on the raffle? No. Next year. If you buy a Tesla, you always have a new car sent. It's called Elon Musk. And you don't want to miss a payment on your Tesla. Right? Make sure you make your monthly payments, because if you miss a payment, it'll drive itself back to the dealer. So you don't want that to happen. My maid called me the other day and said she wants to work from home. That's confusing. I didn't know if I should let her or not. You know, a lot of people, especially the ladies, when they call the maid, they want to impress the maid, so they start cleaning it up a little bit because they don't want it to be too dirty. If it's too dirty, the maid may get upset. She may tell other people. So some people, they start cleaning up. You know, this happened to me. You know, I called the maid one time, and she was on her way, and I said, oh, let me start cleaning up a little bit. Just, I don't want it too dirty. I started cleaning. Then the maid showed up. She rang the bell. I told her to have a seat. Please sit down. Let me finish cleaning. So I finished cleaning finally. An hour later, I came out of the bathroom, and I told her, okay, now you can start. But she said, oh, everything looks clean. Oh. Then she said, oh, you missed a spot over here. So I had to clean that spot. Then I had to pay her a tip. And then she went on her way. So next time, I'm going to maybe try the iRobot or something like that, something new. I'll report to you next time how that experience will be. So a lot of people ask me, hey, you're Indian, right? Did you have an arranged marriage? I tell them, yeah, I had. My parents arranged my marriage. My wife arranged the divorce. So it's a complete arranged package. We had a pretty bad custody battle, too. It was like, you keep the kids. No, you keep the kids. It was pretty bad. An American friend of mine asked me, hey, how can you marry somebody without knowing them? Then I said, how can you marry somebody even after knowing them? Either way, you're in trouble. And they say marriage is an institution. You know, normally when you try to get into an institution, you have to apply, and there's a lot of rules, and you have to pay a lot of money to get into the institution, right? But marriage, you have to pay to get out of the institution too. You pay twice. People sometimes tell them, if you ask them, you know, if they don't have a job sometimes, they are actually unemployed. They don't say they're unemployed. You know, they use some fancy language like, oh, I'm between jobs. That sounds cool. That sounds like something you want to be. I'm between jobs. Okay, that sounds nice. So somebody asked me the other day, hey, how is your life now? You're divorced, right? So I said, no, I'm between wives. Here's my ex-wife, here's my future wife, I'm in between. So let me wrap up with this. I was at the Indian grocery store the other day, and I wanted to buy some ghee. And I asked him some questions. Hey, is this salted or unsalted? And the guy said, yeah, it's unsalted. Then I asked him, is it cow ghee or is it buffalo ghee? Then he said, it's cow ghee. Then I asked him, when does it expire? So I had all kinds of questions to be clarified. Finally, he gave me the ghee, and then on it said clarified butter. So that's what I got for asking clarification questions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.